Hi, I'm Willie with H5 Technology, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. And tonight we're going to talk about Ubiquiti's Enterprise of Things. And you can probably see the panel over this shoulder that's lit up, and you can see the dimmer laying back there. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is the two products that are in the Early Access program. And if you're not in the Early Access program, you should be. So if you look through the videos, and I'll put a link to the video down here in the description, it tells you how to get signed up for the Early Access program. So, first of all, let's talk about what the UniFi EoT is. The UniFi EoT is not MFi. MFi is dead and gone. Throw some dirt on MFi. I know the hardware is still out there, but the software has not been updated, and you probably should not run that in an enterprise environment. So enter EoT, new team, new day, new products. The first two products that we have are the dimmer and the panel. So I already unboxed everything, but real quick, let's take a look at the boxes that everything comes in. And then we will take a look at the panels, and we will look at the specs here. I'll put all these links down in the description, and then we're going to install the controller and adopt everything. So let's take a look at the boxes that these two units came in.
Package that the panel ships in, and it is bigger than the 2x2 panel that you get. The only thing that comes in here is a quick start guide and the panel, so not too many frills to this. Now, this did weigh about 18 pounds, something like that, when it showed up. Then here is the package for the dimmer, and inside you get the dimmer, the quick start guide, and the screws to screw this guy into the wall. So let's real quick take a look at the physical devices.
Okay, so that was the packaging. It's what you would expect. It's a big box. I think the panel, when the panel shipped, it was about, I want to say 18 pounds or something like that for the box. I don't know, specifically remember off the top of my head, but the panel was not light. It is not super duper light. It's got really great color, as you can see behind me there. And so real quick, let's just take a close-up look at the panel and the dimmer. You can see it's got a white light, so it's awaiting adoption, and it's plugged in. And there you can see the light panel, which is also plugged into the switch over there. And so I must have touched this or something, huh? Yeah, so we don't even have the controller up and going, but they see each other on the network. And just by me pushing the dimmer, that light's coming on and off. How cool is that? That we don't even have these things adopted yet. Oh, and it's sensitive enough that I just, when I set it down on that edge router, that, yeah, we had... that's pretty nifty. So let's take a look at installing the controller and get these things adopted. Now, that is a 2x2 panel. You saw the box that it came in. So that'll fit in a regular 2x2 drop ceiling. And then, of course, it's PoE. So that's just a quick up close of the panel and the dimmer. Like I said, they haven't even been adopted yet, but they can see each other on the network, and the dimmer can control the panel without even having been adopted in the controller yet. So that's pretty cool. And you can see that the dimming functionality, and maybe you can't. Let me turn off my other lights, and we'll see. I'll show you the dimming capabilities. So we're at about, okay, so there's full light. And we're just going to slide our finger down, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is getting dimmer. Yeah, you can definitely see it. So that's pretty nifty. So real quick, let's go over and take a look at the specs on these. So the LED panel is powered by 802.3 AT. It's managed by the EoT controller and or the phone app. It fits in a standard 2x2 square drop ceiling grid, 2400 lumens, color temperature is 4000 K natural white, long-lasting LED. They're saying that these will last 50,000 hours. You can take a look at the rest of the specs there. The dimmer fits in a standard 1-gang wall electrical box. It's got on, off, and dimming, as you saw. And you can configure it in the app to control multiple panels. So I don't have multiple panels hooked up to this yet, but if I had multiple panels, I could control them as a group, and it is powered by 802.3 AF. So the panels are in stock as of the filming of this video, about 8:42 on February 15th. They are $109 a piece in the early access store, and the dimmer is in stock for $39. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to install the controller, and we are then going to adopt these devices and play around with the controller. So let's get to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to install this on a 64-bit Ubuntu 16.04 server. So, and as a vanilla server, the only thing that it has is the SSH server. And I did some updates, but we're going to go ahead and we are going to copy and paste into this. It's going to ask for our sudo password. It's going to download it. It's going to install Docker. Then it's going to grab everything else that it needs. And you can see that it is moving right along here. So it shouldn't be too long. And the IP address on this is 192.168.66.186. I got my host name set to UniFi EoT. So this is done in Docker. It is literally as easy as copying and pasting. And then if you want to update, you use this command with the --update flag at the end. And if we scroll down here, we can see that once the controller comes online, we're going to use port 20,080. And if you have a UAS, you can use the management console of the UAS and install this automatically. Alright, you can see it has downloaded all the images. It says waiting for EoT to start. So we're going to wait for this to start, and then we're going to bring it up in a web browser. Okay, so I loaded the IP address of my controller, :20,080, and now you can see that I have the UniFi EoT controller, and it has seen, or it sees, two devices. It sees the panel and it sees the dimmer. So right now you can see that the dimmer is not adopted, so I'm going to go ahead and click adopt, and it is going to go through the adoption process, and the LED on there should turn colors for us here in a second. And what we're going to do real quick is we're going to add a group, because we can add groups. So we'll add a group, and we'll call this lab, and we'll add the dimmer and we'll add the light to the group. So now you can see here we have this group called lab, so we can have this expanded or not, and it doesn't look like we, and the dimmer is adopted. And now what we're going to do is we're going to adopt the panel. You can see it's got the adopting happening here. Now everything is connected, and we can physically use this, and you can see that it updates the brightness. So I showed you this earlier where we could actually go ahead and use the dimmer. So if I tap the dimmer, it turns the light on and off. If I slide my finger up or down the dimmer, we actually get that dimming effect happening. So that turns it off. Tap it, turns it on. Pretty nifty. And we will go over here and we could do, I don't know if there's a firmware that is available here. So we could hit upgrade on this. So it's going to upgrade the dimmer and we'll upgrade the panel. So the more, as more people get in and buy this and test it, they'll add all kinds of features. There'll be new devices. Once again, this is not M5. This is something totally different. And as you can see on the controller right now, there was no authentication or anything like that. These are things that are still coming. This is a beta product. This is not something that you're going to throw on your network and run in a full production environment and call it good. Remember, this is beta, and Ubiquiti needs your feedback. So we're going to let these devices upgrade. It says they're disconnected at the moment. They may be, the controllers may be rebooting. So we're going to let these sit for a second. We'll be right back. So you can see that on the dimmer that I've got the blinking LED. So we do have some blinking like when we upgrade other UniFi devices. We've got that familiar blinking. So this is going to take a little bit, and we'll come back to this. Alright, so everything has been upgraded and has been rebooted. So we've got a couple different things. So you can see we can either do a device view or we can do this group view. Now, if I close this lab group and I hit turn off, it should turn off all of the devices in that group that it can turn off. You can see that the lights are off. So we can turn on the panel, and then we could use our finger to run the brightness up. We can turn it off, turn it back on, and then we also have the locate. So if I click locate on the dimmer, you can see that it's locating. So if you have a building full of dimmers and for some reason you don't know which one does what, you could use the locate on that. Now, you can click on each of these devices and you can turn it off. You can get the MAC address, the IP, the model, the uptime, the energy usage, the firmware. You can do the locate, the restart, or a factory default. If I bring up the actual panel itself, you can see right now this panel is pulling 21.307 watts. And I can do the dimming from the software. And this is the same as the phone app, except the phone app looks like a polished phone app. And you can see the model, the uptime, and it's interesting. So now when this is at 100%, it's using 21 watts. We drop it down to 40, and you're going to see the wattage drop down on that. So now we're down to around 9 watts. Maybe go even lower. And once again, you got the locate, the restart, and the factory setup. So this is some really cool stuff, and I'm really excited to see what Ubiquiti is going to do with EoT, knowing that it is not M5. They've got a different team, they've got a different focus, and these are, even at beta products, I feel like these are polished. Now, if they had security built into the controller and things like that, it'd be even better, so you could run it in an environment where, you don't want everybody logging into your controller messing with your lights. But I feel like the packaging, the product itself, that this is a really polished, almost ready to go, product. So a couple quick things real quick before we go. If you go over to the H5 Technology website, which I'm going to put a link to the website down in the description. Down here at the bottom, we've got this Stay Up to Date section, and we have started a newsletter. And in case YouTube ever decides to pull us off of the air, or if YouTube ever goes away, we are building a mailing list so that I can stay in touch with you. And my goal is to, once a week on Sundays, put together a newsletter and email that out. So I will put a link, and I'll actually display it right here on the screen. If you go to h5llc.com, that will actually forward you over to h5technology.com, and from there you can scroll down and fill out the section that says stay up to date, and that will get you on our newsletter. We also have a Discord channel, and I want to say hi to Charlie. He's the admin for us, and he does a fantastic job. So I'll also put the link to our Discord channel down there, so you should check that out. Discord, you never know what time I'm going to be on there, or any of the other crew that works with me. We're going to be on there. We answer questions when we're there, so check out the Discord channel. And that's it for this video. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please comment and share. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Go find that Discord channel, and go over to h5llc.com or h5technology.com and get on the mailing list. And thank you again, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.